Hi and welcome back. It's a normal week on YouTube, which is a strange one because the different platforms are reacting so differently to the world that's happening out there. And when I asked all my followers on Instagram what to do, they said, will you carry on doing beauty and try and make it relevant to what's happening in the world right now? So on Instagram right now, I'm pretty much silent on main grid until I can get the Black Beauty founders on, that I'm excited about getting on, that I want to do main content with. And obviously we're all in lockdown at the moment, so I can't actually get and film with them properly. But on YouTube, let's carry on, if I can, for the time being, with some usual beauty content that I think is relevant to everybody, all ages. I've always been that way, obviously, and all skin types and skin tones. And I'm going to talk about hay fever today. By the way, on my stories, I'm highlighting important Black beauty creators, founders, artists, makeup artists, hairstylists, brand founders who are just amazing and that I followed for years, that are just a sheer joy as well as being talented to follow. And I will do some follow-up here because people did ask for me to do a follow-up here on some Black beauty brands that if you want to put your money where your mouth is, let's try and support those brands. And actually I've put a call out to action and loads of people are suggesting brands that I hadn't heard of. A lot of them American, obviously, but they're obviously new, exciting brands as well. So I will get those products together and talk about them here when I can. It's hard to get hold of products at the moment, but I will hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But let's start with hay fever, shall we? That's a misery that knows absolutely no bounds whatsoever. And this year it's been really bad. The pollen counts have been particularly high. We've had a really hot, dry lockdown. It's almost like a season now, isn't it? It's been spring and it's going into summer. And I reached my absolute wit's end around the time that I created some Instagram lives with Dr. Emma Wedgworth. And I think I apologised for I'm always scratching my nose and itching my face, and you'll notice that. Here I'm constantly doing this and stuff like that. I pretty much suffer from some sort of allergy year round because I do have a mild dust allergy, and obviously my cats bring in a whole host of stuff because they're outside cats. But it's particularly bad when I get tree pollen allergy, and tree pollen allergy is early in the season. It can start as early as the end of February. It's particularly bad in March, April, May, and then tends to disappear in June, July. So by the time I was creating content with the brilliant Dr. Emma Wedgworth, I just apologised and said I'm suffering from the worst hay fever, and she then afterwards slid into my DMs and said, right, what can I prescribe for you? And I hadn't been to the doctors in forever. I'm useless with antihistamines. Antihistamines completely knock me out, like I think a lot of people, they do. Even the anti-drowsy ones knock me out. And so I was just using over-the-counter nose spray and eye drops and kind of battling through. And as a result, my eyes were puffier, the normal, sore, itchy, horrible, dry, just not nice. If you have hay fever, I feel your pain, I really do. Anyway, so I want to go through, firstly, the medications that she's given me that I think have genuinely helped. They are prescription medications, just a warning, but your GP should be able to get them for you. And then actually just some of the really brilliant beauty products that have really helped me, because I have to film for you guys and you do not need me looking like that. I mean, nobody needs to see that. So let's start with the fact that I finally got hold of the new generation antihistamine called fexofenadine. And fexofenadine is the 3rd generation antihistamine and the 2nd generation anti-drowsy, so the non-drowsy antihistamines. I have to admit, I've tried the regular dose, which is this tablet here, which is 180 milligrams, once a day, I think. Should we have a look what I should be taking? Do not take 1 tablet a day. And I tried it at night, but I was really tired the next day and felt I had a hangover. So I now take, as you can see, half a tablet today. They're powder coated tablets, really easy to take. They definitely mildly knock you out, but in a way that's not a bad thing. But you wake up and you don't have any hangover. And straight away I noticed that my nose symptoms disappeared by 60%, my eye symptoms completely. And that was incredible. My eyes would literally feel like they were crawling with tiny insects, and then it's like an insect bite. You itch it and scratch 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 it, and then afterwards you suffer. And I've said before, I think one of the reasons that my eyes haven't aged as well as perhaps some of the rest of my face is because I have probably spent half of my adult life since puberty rubbing and itching my eyes. I really have. So that's the first thing. I highly recommend it if you're susceptible and you become drowsy with normal hay fever tablets. If you don't, please carry on taking the ones you take. It got so bad at the beginning of lockdown, so what are we talking here, March and April, that I started having to use a Ventolin inhaler. And I remember doing my chest, and obviously at a time during when we had COVID, I wasn't sure what I was suffering from, but I kind of knew it wasn't COVID. But I had this constant dry, tight feeling and almost like an inability to breathe properly at night. So I got prescribed Ventolin inhaler. I find it quite difficult to use. I did some amazing lives helping NHS frontline workers with their skin care problems, and a brilliant, what was she? Was she an ear, nose and throat nurse? Said to me, actually what you do need is you need the extension to the Ventolin inhaler. There's an extension that you can get that they give children, because what happens is you spray it and it tends to go in your mouth and not much of it goes down into your lungs, and the extension goes down into your lungs properly. But actually the fexofenadine sorted out my chest, so I only used the Ventolin inhaler a few times. An amazing nose spray. I absolutely love this. This is called ELEMIS. Again, prescription only, I'm afraid. And it is a microgram spray of fluticasone furoate. It's a steroid spray, obviously, for your nose. Amazing. Honestly, hand on heart, once I take the tablets, probably only have to use the nose spray 2 or 3 times a week, which is incredible. And then finally an eye drop, which I've used on and off, called OPTIMEYES. You can see it's all available on prescription. And together, I haven't had to use the eye drops very much, actually, and this is interesting now. We are now, what, 3rd day in June, and actually I can tell the pollen's changing, the trees are going, and the flowers are coming out, and the flowers affect my eyes more. Which is interesting because I love nature and I love getting out for walks, and I love my tiny little garden, and I sometimes just suffer. Anyway, OPTIMEYES. The combination has been great. If you're having trouble finding really good prescription medicines or hay fever medication, sorry about that, I thought I had it on silent, then look for them. They're really good. And I would like to actually just do a shout out to this pharmacy called Zen. It's a London pharmacy. You do have to pay for it, but in the height of the lockdown in April, they sent over to me. They deliver to your door. They're in Beecham Place and Baker Street. And also thank you to the amazing Dr. Emma Wedgeworth, who I want to get back on to tackle my Instagram. And I do keep the lives, I do keep the lives as IGTV's permanent videos for you if you want to see them. You can go on and follow me at Nadine Baggott. She's amazing. We've done 2 lives together, both of which are up. And I want to do dry skin conditions. Nobody seems to talk about dry skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, things like that with her. Anyway, so I'm going to get her back on. She's incredibly busy though. So thank you for prescribing that for me. But in the meantime, what can you do? That was a very long intro to say, what can you do if you've got really bad hay fever? And I'm going to tell you something that I don't think you'll be surprised to hear, is what you need is unscented, super hydrating eye products that you can put with impunity right down here and down here, up and round here. And I've tested them all, trust me. When your eyes get so bad and you rub them, and there's something about using the eye drops and the antihistamines and the nose sprays that seems to dry you out. Ugh. Even your eyeballs become dry. You kind of need something that will go on all over. So let's introduce you to some eye products, and just some generic products actually that I've used that I really love, that have worked and I've used all over. So I'm going to start with, let's start with our eye products first. You know I'm loving this. This is Beauty Pie Pure Ceramides. It's an eye product. You can see how much I'm using it now. You twist it and apply, and it is literally cooling, light, unfragranced, hydrating humectants. It makes a really nice eye base, and I've tested it right up and in around. I get really itchy in there, and it does help. It cools, it soothes, it's amazing. You can sleep in it, you can apply it over your makeup. It's such a good product. The other one I mentioned in my video the other day, which is this one, which is the FILLORGA OPTIMEYES, which is a cooling stick eye balm. And this one also has a tendency to pill if you overuse it. This is a film former type one, but it's lovely and cooling. And I've had at least 3 followers say, thank you. I'm a teacher, I'm suffering from itchy eyes, I don't know what to use. This is so soothing and cooling. I've got eye makeup on, so I won't apply it now, but it is almost feels like an ice balm, and it's beautiful. This is actually much more of a film former than this. It is fragrance, so be careful if you're super sensitive, but it's lovely. It's really nice. Other things that I use, if your eyes are particularly dry but not sensitive, the eye product I most often recommend in terms of active ingredients is Paula's Choice Clinical Ceramide Enriched Eyes. Not probably one to use if you're sensitive, but if you're dry and your eyes are starting to show the signs of aging, it's a really lovely one. It has retinol, vitamin C, niacinamide. It's loaded with actives. Of course it is, because it's created by Paula Baggott. It's sort of a one-size-fits-all first eye cream for everybody. And she's buffered things out beautifully so that you get the hit of a safe dose of vitamin A, of retinol and vitamin C to brighten the eye. But I've never had a reaction to it. I really like it. And another one is the Murad Professional Eye Lift Treatment, which is a really nice one as well. This is the sort of pump action type one. There you go. And it's a lovely, cool, lightweight gel. But I tell you, I've tested all of these right on, right up and around my lashes. It's a nice one. It's a really nice one. But all of them I really like. And I have to say, despite the rule that I always say, use your eye cream here, I've used all of those right up and over my eyes. I'm the human guinea pig. It's my job to test them, not yours. The last eye product, before I go on to generic serums you can put right up and over your eyelids, or at least I have. The brands might not say so, but I've tested them. I really like these. A lot of people ask me about ELEMIS skincare. This is the Pro Collagen Hydrogel Eye Masks. And these are the ones that I tested. They're those ones that you can see in there. There's a little shape. They come in a little plastic flattened well that you open up. They're loaded with hyaluronic acid. Then you put the sheet masks on. They're really lovely. Generally, I'm not a fan of fragrant skincare and essential oil-based skincare, but I do think that ELEMIS do some really nice products, and these are the great ones. These are the ones I tested on TV that we did the before and after. I think I mentioned them in one of my videos, and we did a before and after. So we got a Visio machine, a 3D scanning machine that checks redness, pore size, pigmentation, lines, depth and length of lines in a 3D scanning machine, and gives up images of each of those problems. And then we just literally used the lines, not anything else. And then what we did was we applied these, which obviously hyperhydrate because they lock in the hyaluronic acid, the humectants on the skin and the glycerin on the skin. And then we came back and we did a live where we tested them, and the reduction in the depth and the length of the lines was stonking, phenomenal. That's such a good English word, stonkingly good, wasn't it? But interestingly enough, obviously it's a temporary effect. These are a temporary effect. These are great to fly with, great the night before a big night out. I should use them every time before I film so you don't have to see my wrinkly eyes. I always forget. They're a really nice product. And Order have got some similar ones. You'll get high street ones as well. Garnier do some amazing eye patches. One thing I would say about any sheet mask, I mean, maybe not so much about the eye ones, is do try to make sure that the fabric that they're using is recyclable. Now, I've got 5 serums here that I'm currently using, that I'm loving, that I'm using all over my face. I've always said that with my serums, and even with my retinols, because I'm a tough old bird, but particularly with my hydrating serums and my humectant serums, I do use them right up and over my eyelids. So let's start. Superdrug Me Plus Hyaluronic Acid was a great one. My eyes were particularly, I didn't wear any makeup yesterday, my eyes were particularly itchy, and I put this on. It's quite a thick, gloopy hyaluronic acid. Let me just show you there, that shows you. It didn't dry tight or sticky at all, just soothing. I quite like that jelly feeling around my eyes, as opposed to something like Hada Labo, which is much more watery and essency. It's really nice to use. It's not overly softening in the sense of it's not sort of obviously like a glycerin, but if you put it on as a first step, or you sleep in it, or you just want to kind of almost wipe your eyes and cool them with something, it's a really nice one. It's really reasonably priced. You could follow it up with the Superdrug Simply Pure Hydrating Serum. This would be my equivalent of Hada Labo followed by Indeed Labs. It's, there you go, that you can also put, both of them unfragranced, you can put right up, over and around your eyes. Those two are a brilliant budget combination that that you can, I was just checking it, but obviously what it's actually doing is I'm putting it over the top of the FILLORGA product, which is quite heavily fragranced, and it's releasing the FILLORGA fragrance. Because my brain was going, I'm sure they're unfragranced. They are a really good budget combination, all over your face, all down your neck, but they work well around your eyes. Two more slightly high-end ones. You know I love SkinCeuticals HA Intensifier. I use that right up and round and over my eyes. It's a really beautiful product. It's their hyaluronic acid, and it's another sort of slightly thicker, gloopier one. Really lovely product. If money isn't an option for you at the moment, it's a nice one. That smells like it smells of actives, and I need to look up what the actives is and what the actives are, in addition to obviously the humectants here. I presume it's some sort of anti-inflammatory antioxidant. It smells like a sort of fruit extract, and I don't mean that in a fruity way. I mean like almost like a resveratrol way. That's slightly stickier, that one, but it's still a nice one to use. You know how much I'm loving this. I've already put this on my main grid twice. This is La Roche-Posay Dermalergo, which is their, it's got a dipeptide in which repairs your barrier function and has been proven to work by the manufacturer. In rosacea, I've had a couple of outbreaks of perioral dermatitis and I've slapped it straight on and it's worked. I really am loving that serum right around your eyes, no matter how sore they are. And then finally, obviously, I'm going to mention CUREL again, because if you are using a serum like that, you might want to put some sort of ceramide stroke glycerin serum on top, and that's great. In fact, the entire CUREL range is unfragranced, so providing you're going the lighter end, milks, serums, lotions, it can be used around your eyes. I very rarely recommend eye products, and I've said this so many times to so many people. Generally, if you don't have a problem with eye products, then just get a normal hyaluronic acid serum and use it around your eyes. You know, get a normal lightweight glycerin serum and lightweight lotion, use it around your eyes with impunity. The only reason you want a specific eye product is if it's giving you something that you're not getting from your normal serum. It's such a simple rule. So, you know, that's great because it's loaded with vitamin C, retinol, niacinamide. A lot of them you couldn't actually use around your eyes. That's a cooling specific one that you probably wouldn't want to use all over your face, but around your eyes. That would make a great all over serum, let's be honest here. I would happily use Beauty Pie Triple Hyaluronic all around my eyes as well. But this one has a particular applicator which is cooling and calming. See those little tiny metal balls? They stay cool all the time. So that's my rule with eye products. Don't buy specific ones unless they're offering something that you're getting over and above your normal serums. And feel free to use your normal serums if they're unfragranced. If they're just full of humectants and light moisturising factors, light emollients. Don't go too heavy on the creams around your eyes because they have a tendency to cause puffiness. And the last thing you need if you have hay fever is more puffiness. I should know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I will put all the details of all the products down below. Obviously, it's going to be hard for me to find links to my prescription products, but I'll put all the details in if I can find them. And that way you can at least go to your GP and ask for help. At the moment, I know it's not easier to get a GP, but a lot of them are doing sort of Zoom calls, so you can get conference calls like that. One of the perks of my job is that I've got a Rolodex, a sort of, you know, on speed dial full of amazing doctors who are welcomed and kind of on my channel anytime, and then in return they go, it's so funny, Dr. Wedgeworth just said to me, have you thought about asking me for help? I was like, thought you might be too busy, but thank you so much. It really has helped me. And I've been sending out that information to so many people. If you suffer from hay fever, I feel your pain generally. I feel your itchiness and your scratchiness. And at this point, I'd like to do a formal announcement to anybody that's ever been offended by me twitching my nose, touching my face, touching my eyes. Trust me, it's like having at any one time for probably most of the year, tiny little insects sort of crawl around your face like this. So I do this a lot. I find myself watching Jo in videos and she's chatting away, I'm doing this and I'm so annoying. I'm so sorry, I need to sit on my hands, especially at this time when we're not supposed to be touching our faces. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.